They said family takes care of family, while secretly using my credit to pay for a $80,000 wedding. I let them finish the guest list, then disappeared 3 states away. I'm organizing the pile of bills on my kitchen counter when I spot an envelope from Rosewood Manor, the most exclusive wedding venue in Austin. Strange. I don't remember ordering anything from them. I slide my finger under the flap and pull out a pristine contract, the gold-embossed letterhead catching the afternoon light streaming through my apartment window. My coffee mug freezes halfway to my lips as I scan the document. There it is, my signature at the bottom of a contract authorizing payments totaling $82,000 for my sister Brooklyn's wedding. Except it isn't my signature. Not really. The loops are too perfect, the slant too deliberate. It's a skilled imitation, but I'd know my own handwriting anywhere. The room tilts slightly as realization crashes over me. This is Brooklyn's handiwork, those distinctive flourishes at the end of each letter, the way she crosses her T's with unnecessary flair. She's forged my name on a contract for $82,000. My fingers go numb. The coffee mug slips from my grasp, shattering against the tile floor. Hot liquid splashes across my bare feet, but I barely register the burn. This can't be happening, I whisper to my empty apartment. With trembling hands, I grab my phone and dial the number printed on the elegant letterhead. My heart pounds so violently I can feel each beat echoing in my ears. Rosewood Manor, how may I assist you today? A melodious voice answers. This is Lyra Wilson, I manage, my voice unnaturally tight. I'm calling about a wedding contract for Brooklyn Wilson. Oh, Miss Wilson. Yes, we're absolutely thrilled about your sister's special day. Everyone here is raving about your incredible generosity. It's rare to see such a beautiful gesture between siblings. The first tear slides down my cheek before I can stop it. My incredible generosity. The one I never agreed to. The one I explicitly refused just 2 months ago. Thank you, I choke out before ending the call abruptly. I sink into my kitchen chair, memories flooding back like a dam bursting. 18-year-old me working triple shifts at Target while Brooklyn spent summers at expensive dance camps. My graduation money mysteriously borrowed for her spring break trip to Cabo. The countless loans that vanished into the bottomless pit of her dreams and desires. You're the responsible one, Lyra, Mom would say, as if it were a badge of honor rather than a life sentence. Brooklyn's still finding her path. 2 months ago, at our monthly family brunch, Brooklyn had flashed her massive engagement ring while Dad looked at me expectantly. We were thinking, he'd said, refilling his mimosa glass, since you got that big promotion, you could help give Brooklyn the fairy tale wedding she's always dreamed of. I'd felt everyone's eyes boring into me, waiting. My hands had trembled beneath the white tablecloth as I found my voice. I can't afford that, I'd said, the words barely audible above the restaurant's ambient noise. I'm still paying off my master's degree. The silence that followed had been deafening. Mom's disappointed sigh. Dad's furrowed brow. Brooklyn's theatrical pout. Family takes care of family, Lyra, Dad had finally said, his voice carrying the authoritative weight that had shaped our entire childhood. That's how we raised you. Sweetheart, Mom had reached across the table, patting my hand with her perfectly manicured fingers. Don't you want your sister to be happy? After everything you've accomplished, surely you can manage this one thing for family. Now, staring at the forged contract, my phone pings with an email notification. I glance down, seeing the subject line, Senior Interior Designer Position, Denver office interested in your portfolio. Rachel from work had mentioned this opportunity just last week. 2 states away. A fresh start. I pick up the contract again, running my finger over the forgery. All those years of sacrificing, of putting everyone else's needs first, of being the responsible one, and this is how they repay me. With theft. With fraud. This ends now, I whisper to my apartment. And something shifts inside me, something that feels dangerously close to strength. Sleep eludes me that night. At 3 a.m., my laptop screen illuminates my face as I dig through years of family emails. My fingers feel disconnected from my body as I type wedding into the search bar. The results populate like evidence in a crime scene. Buried among wedding spam and Pinterest notifications, I find it, an email thread between Mom, Dad, and Brooklyn from 6 weeks ago. The subject line reads, Lyra's contribution. My stomach churns as I click open the thread. She'll cave eventually, Mom had written. She always does. Remember how she insisted she wouldn't pay for Brooklyn's car accident last year? Within a week, she wrote the check. Brooklyn's reply appears below. If not, we'll figure something out. She's got the credit for it anyway. A wave of nausea washes over me. They weren't just asking for my help, they were planning to take it regardless of my answer. They've been manipulating me for years, I whisper to my empty living room. I open a new spreadsheet and title it Family Loans. With methodical precision, I scroll through bank statements, credit card bills, and old text messages. Each entry represents a promise broken, a debt unpaid. The summer I worked doubles at the restaurant to lend Brooklyn money for her life-changing trip to Europe. The inheritance from Grandma Rose that disappeared into Mom's temporary emergency. Dad's failed food truck venture that required just a small investment from his successful daughter. By sunrise, my spreadsheet contains 43 entries spanning nearly a decade. The total at the bottom glares back at me, $47,892. And now an $82,000 wedding venue on top of it all. I rub my burning eyes, exhaustion and tears blurring my vision. A Christmas memory surfaces, Brooklyn's pleading voice as she borrowed my credit card for just one small gift for Mom. The January statement showed $4,200 in charges from luxury boutiques. My phone buzzes at 9 a.m. sharp. A text from Brooklyn, just toured the bridal suite at Rosewood. It's absolutely magical. Thinking we should upgrade the champagne package to, only an extra $2,000. Thoughts? Ring sparkles. Attached is a photo of her posing in an opulent room, crystal flute raised in triumph. Her fiancé nowhere in sight. I don't respond. 20 minutes later, Mom calls. Lyra, honey, did you see Brooklyn's message about the champagne? The venue needs confirmation by noon. I'm not paying for champagne, Mom. My voice sounds stronger than I feel. A heavy sigh travels through the phone. This attitude isn't like you, Lyra. What will people think if Brooklyn's wedding looks cheap? The Patterson family has already been commenting on how generous you're being. Everyone in town is talking about it. I never agreed to pay for anything. Family supports family. That's how we raised you. Her voice drops to that expertly crafted mixture of disappointment and guilt. I just pray you're not becoming one of those selfish career women who forget their roots. After we hang up, I check my credit score, something I haven't done in months. The number has dropped 38 points. A hard inquiry from Rosewood Manor appears in the activity log, along with a new line of credit I never authorized. They didn't just forge my signature. They're actively destroying my financial standing. My phone rings again, Rachel from work. Hey, did you think more about that Denver position? The hiring manager called me twice yesterday. They're seriously interested in your portfolio. I didn't realize they were that eager, I say, straightening in my chair. Dead serious. The salary is 25% higher than what you're making now, plus full relocation assistance. And frankly, Lyra, her voice softens, you'd be far away from all that family drama you've mentioned. For the first time in weeks, something like hope blooms in my chest. After hanging up, I call Kevin, the only friend who knows the full extent of my family's financial expectations. They forged my signature, Kevin. For $82,000. Silence stretches between us. Then, that's not family dysfunction, Lyra. That's exploitation. That's a felony. His words land like permission, validation I didn't know I desperately needed. What if I just left? The question emerges before I fully form the thought. Honestly? It might be your only escape route. They'll bleed you dry otherwise. That evening, I sit at my kitchen table updating my resume while Mom sends increasingly frantic texts about wedding details. My hands shake as I type, but not from fear. From something that feels dangerously like possibility. The interview is scheduled for next Tuesday during my lunch break. While my family thinks I'm reviewing floral arrangements, I'll be interviewing for my freedom 2 states away. Sunday dinner at my parents' house feels like walking into an elaborate trap. Before I even remove my jacket, Aunt Patricia corners me with a tearful embrace. You precious, generous girl, she gushes, squeezing my shoulders. Funding Brooklyn's entire wedding, your mother told everyone at book club. Such a blessing to have family like you. My stomach twists into knots. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Lyra. Mom swoops in, linking her arm through mine with theatrical enthusiasm. The Hendersons were just asking about the venue. Come tell them how you insisted on Rosewood Manor. The living room buzzes with relatives and family friends, all beaming at me with approval I haven't earned and don't want. Dad holds court by the fireplace, chest puffed with pride. My daughter Lyra wouldn't hear of anything less than the absolute best, he boasts to his golf buddies. She said Brooklyn deserves a perfect fairy tale wedding. Words I never spoke, generosity I never offered. Brooklyn glides between groups like a prima ballerina, radiant in a powder blue sundress. She spots me across the room and bounces over, something elaborate cradled in her arms. Look what arrived this morning. She thrusts an ornate floral arrangement at me. Crystal droplets hang from silver-dusted peonies. Sample centerpieces, only 15 per table, and we need 35 tables minimum. I told them you said money was no object. 35 tables? My voice comes out strangled. How many people are you inviting? Mom appears with her leather planner, flipping through pages covered in her precise handwriting. We're at 400 now. That feels right for a Wilson family wedding, don't you think? 400 guests at a venue I never agreed to finance. My head pounds like a bass drum. Oh, and the planner needs your credit card for the ice sculpture deposit, Brooklyn continues, oblivious to my expression. It's shaped like a swan, so romantic. The room starts spinning slightly. I mumble something about needing fresh air and escape to the back porch. Tuesday arrives with perfect interview weather. I sit in my car during lunch break, heart hammering as my laptop connects to the video call. Jonathan Mitchell, creative director at Denver Design Collective, fills my screen. Your portfolio shows remarkable sophistication, he says, studying something off camera. Most designers your age go overboard with trends, but your spaces have timeless elegance. Thank you. I believe in creating environments where people actually want to live, not just Instagram-worthy rooms. What salary range are you targeting? 6 months ago, this question would have made me stammer apologies for wanting fair compensation. Today, something fundamental has shifted. Based on my experience and Denver's market, I'm looking for $95,000 annually, plus standard benefits package. The words emerge clear and confident. Jonathan's eyebrows rise, impressed rather than offended. That aligns perfectly with our budget for this position. When he makes a joke about Colorado's mountain air being better than Texas humidity, I laugh, a genuine laugh that surprises me with its authenticity. We'll be in touch very soon, he promises as we wrap up. I sit in my silent Honda afterward, realizing my hands haven't trembled once during the entire call. The week passes in strategic preparation. I research Denver neighborhoods, contact moving companies, and gather documents for my confrontation. The evidence folder grows thicker daily. Saturday morning brings an unwelcome surprise. I'm spreading cream cheese on a bagel when my doorbell chimes. Who could that be? I wonder aloud, checking the peephole. The answer comes in the form of Vanessa Torres, wedding planner extraordinaire, who sweeps into my apartment with 3 bulging portfolios and a 1,000-watt smile. Lyra. Finally we meet face to face. Brooklyn speaks so highly of you. She extends a perfectly manicured hand. I brought the updated invoices for your approval. My approval? I accept the folder she thrusts at me, flipping through pages of extravagant expenses. Custom cocktail napkins, monogrammed dance floors, a 12-piece orchestra, imported Dutch tulips. Each item bears a notation, L. Wilson approval required. These charges seem excessive, I say carefully, watching Brooklyn from my peripheral vision. What's this $8,000 line item for lighting design? Vanessa frowns, consulting her tablet. Your sister specifically requested premium theatrical lighting for the reception. She said you wanted it to look like a Hollywood movie. Brooklyn's face drains of color faster than water down a drain. Could I see all the contracts, please? My voice remains steady despite the rage building in my chest like a tsunami. Lyra's just being thorough, Mom interjects quickly, bustling toward my kitchenette. Vanessa, have you tried my famous cinnamon coffee cake? Let me fix you a slice. As they retreat to the kitchen, I snap photos of every invoice with my phone, documenting each forged signature and unauthorized expense. That evening, Kevin brings Chinese takeout and legal research to my apartment. In Texas, you can break a lease without penalty if you can prove identity theft, he says, spreading papers across my coffee table, especially with documentation showing fraudulent use of your credit. Rachel texts 3 apartment listings in Denver's Capitol Hill neighborhood. Not fancy, her message reads, but charming, safe, and 20 minutes from downtown. I click through virtual tours of a 1-bedroom with exposed brick walls and a small balcony overlooking the mountains. The rent is reasonable. The distance from my family, priceless. The official email arrives in my personal inbox Wednesday morning at 9:47 a.m. I'm in the office bathroom when my phone buzzes, and I have to grip the sink to steady myself as I read the subject line, Offer of Employment, Denver Design Collective. My hands shake as I open it. The salary matches exactly what I requested. The start date is 4 weeks away, perfect timing for my carefully orchestrated escape. I drive to the empty parking lot behind Whole Foods to make the acceptance call. I'm delighted to accept, I tell Jonathan, my voice strong and certain for perhaps the first time in my adult life. We're thrilled to have you join our team, Lyra. Denver won't know what hit it. That night, I digitally sign the lease agreement for the Capitol Hill apartment. The move-in date aligns perfectly with my liberation timeline. 3 weeks until freedom, I whisper to my reflection in my bathroom mirror. Standing in my apartment Friday evening, I survey everything I've built through years of relentless work. The vintage writing desk I restored myself, the abstract painting I splurged on after my first promotion, the bookshelf lined with design references and novels. On my dresser sits a photo from my graduate school graduation ceremony, me beaming with pride and hope, blissfully unaware of how my family would weaponize that hope against me. Tears slide down my cheeks, but they feel different now. Cleansing rather than broken. I deserve to keep what I've earned, I say aloud to my empty apartment, testing how the words feel in my mouth. The weekend becomes a covert military operation. I secretly record Mom discussing Lyra's wedding contribution during a phone call with Aunt Patricia. I organize bank statements showing unauthorized charges. I screenshot every text message where I explicitly refuse to pay for wedding expenses. Monday morning, I call Premier Moving Services. We need to schedule for a very specific time window, I explain to the scheduler. The 18th, around 1 p.m. We can accommodate that. Any particular reason for the precise timing? Yes, I say, drafting an email to Rosewood Manor explaining the signature forgery situation. My family will be at a cake tasting. The scheduler chuckles. Avoiding the drama, huh? Smart move. I spend Tuesday evening at Target, buying boxes and packing tape. The simple act of preparing for my escape fills me with an energy I haven't felt in years. Each box I assemble represents another step toward my freedom. Wednesday brings a flurry of texts from Brooklyn about fondant flavors and buttercream options. I respond with non-committal emojis, playing my role perfectly while internally counting down the hours. Kevin stops by Thursday night with pizza and moral support. Are you absolutely sure about this? He asks, watching me wrap my grandmother's china in bubble wrap. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I tape another box closed with decisive strokes. They made their choice when they forged my signature. Now I'm making mine. What about the guilt? The family pressure? I pause, considering his question seriously. The guilt isn't mine to carry anymore, Kevin. I didn't create this situation, they did. I'm just refusing to be a victim of it. He nods, understanding flickering in his eyes. Denver's lucky to get you. Friday afternoon, I submit my 2 weeks' notice at work. My boss, Patricia, looks genuinely sad to lose me. Denver Design Collective made an offer I couldn't refuse, I explain, keeping the personal details to myself. I'll write you the most glowing recommendation letter, she promises. You've been one of our most talented designers. As I clean out my desk drawers, I find a small succulent plant Brooklyn gave me for my birthday 2 years ago. It's thrived despite my occasional neglect, its thick leaves a vibrant green. I carefully wrap it for the move. Some living things, unlike relationships, are worth preserving. The weekend stretches before me like the final act of a play. In 3 days, the curtain will fall on this chapter of my life, and a new one will begin 900 miles away in the shadow of the Rocky Mountains. Moving day arrives with crystalline blue skies, the kind of perfect Texas morning that makes you believe in new beginnings. From my window, I watch Mom's white Lexus pull away with Dad, Brooklyn, and the wedding planner inside, heading to their cake tasting appointment. My phone vibrates continuously with Brooklyn's messages about vanilla versus chocolate layers, each text another confirmation that they're exactly where I need them to be. 10 minutes later, the premier moving truck rumbles into my apartment complex parking lot. I take a deep breath, my hand steady on the doorknob. We'll start with the labeled boxes, I tell the two men in matching navy uniforms. My voice sounds foreign to my ears, steady, authoritative, nothing like the hesitant whisper I've used around my family for 28 years. Inside, I hand the movers my detailed floor plan while dialing my landlord. Mr. Garcia answers on the second ring. I've documented the identity theft situation, I explain, sliding my evidence folder into my messenger bag. The lease break should be waived under tenant protection laws. I wouldn't want this happening to my own daughter, he says after reviewing my documentation. I'll have the paperwork ready by Monday. I hang up, a small victory warming my chest like good coffee. The movers work with impressive efficiency, wrapping my carefully curated furniture while I sit cross-legged on my living room floor, laptop balanced on my knees. With a few keystrokes, I transfer my accounts to Denver's credit union. Another click cancels my credit cards, requesting new numbers for the replacements, numbers my family will never have access to. My phone buzzes incessantly. Mom's name flashes on the screen, the 7th call in 40 minutes. I silence it, but seconds later, the voicemail notification appears. Lyra Wilson, Mom's voice wavers between fury and panic. Where are you? The venue needs decisions on the champagne selection by 4 p.m. Call me immediately. 3 more voicemails follow in rapid succession. I save each one as evidence while the movers empty my bedroom. My phone pings with a text from Brooklyn. What the hell, Lyra? The venue says you haven't confirmed anything. I swear if you ruin this for me, I'll never forgive you. 10 seconds later, answer your damn phone. 20 seconds after that, after everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? Each message creates another link in my chain of evidence. I screenshot them all. Dad's voice booms from the next voicemail. Family takes care of family, Lyra. You have obligations here. Don't make me come looking for you. I save this one twice. While packing my kitchen boxes, the buzzing pauses long enough for me to check Facebook. Mom's status update appears at the top of my feed, heartbroken when children forget where they come from. After everything we sacrifice as parents. Comments flood in beneath it. My college friend Amanda writes, Lyra is the most responsible person I know. There must be some misunderstanding. My cousin Jennifer chimes in, wait, I thought the wedding was being downsized? Aunt Carol mentioned it was costing over $80,000. Brooklyn's maid of honor Tiffany asks, who's actually paying for all this? I thought Lyra was just coordinating, not financing everything. I smile as the first cracks appear in their carefully constructed narrative. My phone rings again, Rachel this time. The truck just picked up your desk and bookshelf, she reports. Everything's secure in my garage until you're settled. Thanks, Rachel. I don't know what I'd. Stop. You'd do the same for me. She pauses. Jonathan called. Your office is ready whenever you arrive in Denver. The weight on my shoulders lightens perceptibly for the first time in months. My laptop pings with an email notification. Rosewood Manor's logo appears in the subject line, urgent, payment deadline notice. I open it, reading the polite but firm reminder that the next installment of $28,000 is due in 2 days or the reservation will be cancelled with no refund. My phone buzzes with a text from Mom's friend who works at the catering company. Your mom asked me to extend the deposit deadline again. I can't keep doing this, Lyra. Business is business. Another notification, a message from Brooklyn's future mother-in-law. Lyra, as parents, we're concerned about the wedding finances. Could we discuss this before Sunday's dinner? My stomach flutters as I realize how rapidly their house of cards is collapsing. Later, while the movers load the final boxes, a text from Brooklyn's roommate pops up. FY, Brooklyn's been crying in her room for 2 hours about possibly having to cancel the photographer and florist. I take a deep breath as I prepare to walk out of my Texas apartment for the last time. My gaze catches on the single coffee mug I've left behind, the one that shattered the morning I discovered the forged contract. I've carefully glued it back together, leaving the crack lines visible like silver scars through the ceramic. It sits on the counter with a handwritten note: "Some things, once broken, can never be the same." As I lock the door behind me, my phone rings one final time. Brooklyn's name flashes on the screen. Against every instinct, I answer. "How could you just abandon us?" she sobs. "We're your family." "You made your choice when you forged my signature," I say, my voice calm as mountain air. "Now I'm making mine." I hang up before she can respond and climb into my Honda Civic, pointed toward Colorado and possibility. 4 days after moving to Denver, the text messages arrive like a digital avalanche. 26 in the first hour after Mom discovers my empty apartment. 41 more by sunset. "How could you abandon your family?" Mom writes. Dad's voice crackles through my voicemail. "There could be legal consequences for backing out now, Lyra. Think about what you're doing to your sister." I place my phone on the coffee table of my new Capitol Hill apartment, watching it vibrate with incoming calls like an angry wasp. The late afternoon sun streams through my floor-to-ceiling windows, casting long shadows across the hardwood floors. I've been here exactly 4 days, and already it feels more like home than anywhere I've ever lived. Aunt Patricia calls next. "Your mother is absolutely hysterical, dear. Everyone's so confused about what's happening with the wedding. Can't you just see reason?" I let her message play to completion, noting how easily my relatives have been recruited as emotional reinforcements. The calendar on my kitchen wall shows the wedding date circled in red marker. 1 week from today. My phone lights up with Brooklyn's name. Against my better judgment, I answer. "You selfish, ungrateful bitch," she hisses through tears. "After everything we've sacrificed for you." "Everything you've sacrificed for me?" I repeat, my voice steady in a way that surprises even me. "Pay for the wedding or you're dead to me," she says. "It's that simple." "That's your choice to make, Brooklyn." I end the call before she can respond, feeling lighter with each severed connection. My laptop glows as I open the email I've spent weeks crafting. The document is attached, ready to detonate their carefully constructed fraud. I review it one final time. Formal letter to Rosewood Manor explaining the signature forgery. Handwriting analysis report highlighting the differences between my signature and Brooklyn's imitation. Audio recording of Brooklyn telling her maid of honor, "I just signed Lyra's name to speed things along. She would have said yes eventually anyway." Screenshots of family text messages discussing my inevitable financial contribution. I click send. Within 30 minutes, my phone rings with an unfamiliar number. "Miss Wilson, this is Margaret Chun from Rosewood Manor." The venue manager's voice is professionally controlled, but I hear underlying tension. "We've received your email. This is highly irregular. We'll need to speak with your sister and parents immediately." "I understand," I say calmly. I've also contacted my attorney and notified the credit bureaus about the fraudulent accounts opened in my name. After the call ends, I draft one final email, this one to my extended family. I keep my explanation factual and dignified. No accusations, just evidence. I attach copies of text messages where I explicitly refuse to pay, bank statements showing the pattern of financial exploitation, and the venue's written confirmation that the signature doesn't match my identification. My phone begins ringing almost immediately, but not with the calls I expected. It's my cousin Marcus. "Holy shit, Lyra. The venue just called Uncle Robert demanding immediate payment or they're canceling everything. What the hell is going on?" "Ask Brooklyn," I say. Or better yet, ask her fiancé's family. I believe they've just been informed about the forged contract. Over the next few hours, reports filter in through family group chats. Wedding guests receiving postponement notices. My parents frantically calling relatives asking for emergency loans. Brooklyn sobbing at the florist, canceling the exotic orchid arrangements. The groom's father demanding a prenuptial agreement. Vendors calling in outstanding deposits. When my phone finally goes silent around midnight, I pour a glass of Colorado wine and step onto my small balcony. The Denver night air wraps around me like a cashmere blanket, crisp and clean. For the first time in years, my shoulders aren't bunched with tension. When Brooklyn calls the next morning, she answers on the first ring. "Come to apologize?" Her voice is hoarse from crying. No, I say, the word clean and simple on my tongue. I called to say I forgive you, but I won't forget. You've destroyed everything, she whispers. I've started over, I correct her. Denver is beautiful. My new firm values my work. My apartment gets morning sunlight. We're your family, she chokes out. The wedding debt is the consequence of your choices, not mine, I say. Maybe it's time you learned what accountability feels like. I end the call before she can respond, placing my phone face down on the granite counter. According to Kevin, who still lives in Austin, my parents spent yesterday meeting with loan officers. Brooklyn has downsized from 12 bridesmaids to 3. The elaborate ice sculpture has been cancelled, along with the fireworks display and the designer gown. My mother's final voicemail arrives that evening as I'm arranging books on my new shelves. Lyra, she begins, her voice catching like cloth on thorns. We never meant for it to go this far. Please, we can work this out. I let the message play to its end, then delete it without replying. Outside my window, the sun sets behind the Rocky Mountains, painting the sky in colors I never noticed in Texas. Some bridges burn for a reason. I close my eyes and breathe deeply, feeling the weight of $82,000 in expectations finally lifting from my shoulders like morning fog. 6 months later, the morning light streams through my Denver apartment windows, catching the spines of my design books as I arrange them on floating shelves I installed myself. 6 months ago, these same books were packed in desperate haste. Today, they stand as colorful guardians of my new life. I smooth my hand over the reclaimed wood coffee table I found at a local artisan market, feeling the grain beneath my fingertips. My apartment is modest but entirely mine, truly mine, with no financial phantoms lurking in the corners. My phone buzzes with a work notification. The historic hotel renovation project I've been leading just won a regional design award. I adjust my blazer, catch my reflection in the hallway mirror, and notice something different in my posture. My shoulders no longer curve inward, carrying the invisible weight of family obligation. The Colorado sunrise bathes my small balcony in gold as I sip my coffee. The lightness I feel isn't just the absence of debt, it's the presence of endless possibility. 6 months into my position at Denver Design Collective, Derek, the senior project manager, leans against my desk on a Friday afternoon. Lyra, we need these presentation boards finished for Monday's client meeting. I know it's your weekend, but... He trails off, expectation hanging in the air like humidity. I'm sorry, but I have plans this weekend, I reply, surprised by how naturally the boundary forms. I'd be happy to come in early Monday to help finalize everything. His eyebrows lift slightly. Really? I figured you'd want to make a good impression. I believe my work during business hours speaks for itself, I say, the word no resting comfortably on my tongue instead of sticking in my throat like it used to. I'll deliver excellent results within reasonable time frames. Later, walking along Denver's 16th Street Mall, I marvel at how easily that boundary emerged. No rehearsal needed. No guilt afterward. My therapist calls this progress. Dr. Martinez's office has become a weekly sanctuary where family patterns are dissected with clinical precision. The first boundary is always the hardest, she told me during our initial session. Each one after gets a little easier. My journal entries confirm this evolution. Week 1 in Denver, woke up panicking about money, convinced I'd made a terrible mistake. Last week, spent the entire Saturday hiking without checking my phone once. The genuine laughter that bubbles up during team lunches startles me at first. After months of tension, joy sounds foreign in my own voice. My housewarming party last month was small but vibrant. Rachel flew in from Austin, bringing a fiddle leaf fig that now thrives by my living room window. Kevin sent a care package with a note, "Proud of you" doesn't begin to cover it. Rachel raised her glass to new beginnings and chosen family, the kind that shows up when it matters. I blinked back tears, realizing family isn't always determined by blood but by who appears when you need them most. When Sierra, our junior designer, confides about a client demanding free revisions, I recognize the familiar exploitation pattern. Your work has value, I tell her, sharing my boundaries without sharing my scars. And so do you. The satisfaction of helping someone avoid the path I traveled feels like closing a cosmic circle. When an email with photos of Brooklyn's significantly downsized wedding appears in my inbox, I feel no surge of vindication. I simply send a congratulations card online and continue with my day. The absence of anger surprises me most, not because I've forgiven, but because I've moved beyond needing to. At sunset, I stand at Denver City Park, watching families play frisbee while the Rocky Mountains tower in the distance. The letter from my mother sits heavy in my messenger bag, the first hints of genuine remorse I've seen in years. I don't rush to respond. The guilt that would have consumed me months ago has been replaced by quiet acceptance. Some bridges burn for a reason, I whisper to the horizon, watching the sun disappear behind snow-capped peaks. The mountains stretch endlessly before me, full of trails I might choose to explore. My phone pings with a text from Jonathan. The Aspen Resort project wants you as lead designer. Interested? I smile, typing back, send me the details. 6 months ago, I was drowning in other people's expectations. Today, I'm designing luxury mountain retreats and learning to ski on weekends. I've discovered that the family who truly matters isn't always